Mr Cannon-Brookes, the co-founder and CEO of Atlassian, says the country should be working towards more sustainable energy as its greatest export, as he plans to build the world's biggest solar farm in the Northern Territory. Joining me live now for more is the senior reporter and project lead of Mission Zero, Joe Hildebrand. Joe, it's good to see you. How are you this morning?
You, Pete, how are you, mate?
Going very well. So what's Mike saying to you?
This is just crazy stuff. I've got to say, I'm a bit of a sci-fi geek. I love my James Bond. I love my Star Wars. I love my superheroes. But this is actually real and happening in the next couple of years in Australia. So I sat down with Mr Cannon-Brookes a couple of weeks ago, and he talked me through this project he's building in the NT. It's $30 billion is going into this thing. It is going to be the world's largest solar farm. It is, I think if memory serves, 125 square kilometres of solar panels right smack bang in the middle of the Simpson desert. It's then going to be hooked up to, and he actually said it's just basically like a giant extension cord. So it's going to be hooked up to a 5,000 kilometre cable that is going to stretch. The first 800 Ks are going to go from the solar plant to Darwin. It'll power Darwin up on the way through. Then the next 4,200 kilometres are going to go to Singapore. It's then going to power up about 15% of Singapore's total electricity needs. And Singapore's about 5.5 million strong. And the catch, I suppose, is that he said, oh yeah, and this is just the first one. Soon there'll be cables going all the way from Australia to all over Asia, and that's potentially 2 to 3 billion people. So, you know, just a tiny little thing he's been working on the side.
So what's the cost of something like this? Is that blowing out? Because there has been conversations about this for some time now, hasn't there, Joe? So what's his estimate in terms of a cost and when it will be finished?
Yeah, sure. Look, the total total input is 30 billion. Obviously, he's not stumping up all that himself. He reckons the net kind of injection into Australia is going to be about 8 billion. So that's coming from elsewhere. He reckons it's going to start up, and this is what I found extraordinary. Construction's meant to start in 2024, which is just 2.5, 3 years away. He then reckons it's going to be up and running in terms of getting power to Darwin just 2 years later in 2026. And then we'll start getting power to Singapore in 2027 and be fully completed by 2028. And this is at a time where we're still arguing about what even, abstract targets should be by 2030. And he reckons it's going to be all done and dusted by then. So these are what you might call heroic assumptions. But if he pulls it off, it'd be extraordinary.
Does he have any doubts that it will work?
Well, I suppose he doesn't. I suppose Mr Cannon-Brookes has long been a bit evangelical in this area. And I guess he's putting his money where his mouth is. And that's what I've found with all this. You just follow the money. If people are saying, do as I say, not as I do, and telling others where they should put their money or what targets they should set, then I get a little bit suspicious. But when someone's actually saying, well, screw the targets, whatever, I'm doing this now and I'm sinking my own dosh into it, you kind of got to say, well, I think as Paul Keating used to say, always back self-interest. It's the only horse that's really trying.
Speaking of targets, do you think the government will come to its 2050 target this week?
Yeah, I have no doubt, to be honest. I think what we're seeing now is a bit of theatre, a bit of arm wrestling for the folks back home. I think the Nats need to look like they're tough, look like they're standing up to regional communities and extracting the best possible deal out of the government that they can. I think the government and the PM fully expect this. There'll be a bit of argy-bargy in the party room today, and then I think both sides will say that they sort of bested the other and they've come out with a victory and everyone can hold hands and sing Kumbaya.
Good one. Joe Hildebrand, great to have you with us this morning. Good to see you. We'll talk to you again soon.
Pete.
And for more on Mission Zero, you can read today's News Corp papers or go online to missionzero2050.com.au. There it is. Great to have Joe with us this morning. Well,